Standards Assessment, page 197 to 199. Number 1. Which equation matches the line shown on the graph? Well, here's your line, and as we know, we always want to think about y equals mx plus b. We know that m is slope and that b is our y-intercept. So as I look at my line, I see that it touches y at -2. So I can eliminate two of the choices here just by knowing my y-intercept. Then to find my slope, I will find 2 points that are right in the crosshairs. I don't know why that disappeared. There we go. And I will draw my right triangle. I will think about rise over run to find my slope. So I did it with my b, which was my y-intercept, and now with my slope. And you should be able to figure out your answer to number 1. Number 2, the equation 6x minus 5y equals 14 is written in standard form. Which point lies on the graph of this equation? Which of these coordinate pairs fulfill 6x minus 5y equaling 14? This is simply a guess and check. For example, if I were to guess f, I would do 6 times -4 minus 5 times -1 to see if it equaled 14. Well, 6 times -4 is -24. 5 times -1 is -5. I'm going to subtract that to see if it equals 14. -24 minus a -5 is like plussing a positive, and that equals -19. So that one does not fulfill the requirements. It is not F. You need to guess and check and put each x into where 6 times it and each y into 5 times it with the subtraction sign there also. Number 3, which line has a slope of 0? All I'm going to tell you is slope dude. Which of those would slope dude say is a slope of 0? Number 4, we are not doing. We have not been taught that. Let's go to number 5. What is the slope of the line that passes through points 2, -2 and 8, 1? Well, whenever I have 2 points and I need to find my slope, I subtract with my arrows. What is 1 minus -2? What is 8 minus 2? Find your answer, and I will warn you, I believe we do have to reduce on this one. So always make sure to put everything in lowest terms. Number 6. A cell phone plan costs $10 per month plus $10 for each minute used. Last month you spent $18.50 on the plan. This can be modeled by the equation below. M is my minutes, $10 is my monthly fee, and $18.50 is how much I spent. But they got rid of the 0 because they don't really need it for the equation. So how many minutes did you use last month? Well, this is your basic equation. 0.1 m plus 10 equals 1850. You just need to solve for m. So you would draw your line and do that equation that you've been doing since Unit 1. Do the opposite of adding and subtracting first, and then do the opposite of multiplying and dividing second. And that will get you your answer. Number 7. It costs $40 to rent a car for 1 day. In addition, the rental agency charges you for each mile driven, as shown in the graph. So we started at 40, that's my y-intercept, and then each mile I am charged a price. So it's no miles at $40. At 100 miles, that's my 100, this is my money, $10. At 200 miles, this is my miles, this is my money. So see how that's working? Miles, and then the amount of money it costs me. I need to determine the slope of the line. So I can make my triangle, or I can do my points. I can grab 2 points and do 0, 40, and then 150, and do what I did on number 5, 50 minus 40, 100 minus 0 to get my answer. I could make myself a triangle, which would get me exactly the same thing. My rise over my run. Be careful though what you're counting by. Your interval here is 20, and your interval here is 100. And actually 50s if you count each individual one. So either way, you'll get the same answer. That was all part A. Part B, explain what the slope represents. Well, once you get that slope, it's how much money for every how many miles. So once you get your slope figured out, that's your money over miles. Money over miles. Next page. Number 8. What value of x makes the equation true? All right, that got us back into the old variables on both sides. So that is step 3 if you've got your process chart with you. 7 plus 2x equals 4x minus 5. I'm on step number 3, which is get rid of the lesser variable. Well, 2 is smaller than 4, so I'm going to subtract 2x because I want to get rid of the x as well from both sides. He goes away. It must have been 5 minutes since I last heard that bell. 7 comes down. 4 minus 2, x minus 5. And that's back to your basic 2-step equation to solve for x. Number 9. Trapezoid KLMN is graphed in the coordinate plane shown. We need to rotate our trapezoid 90 degrees clockwise about the origin, which of course you know is 0. What are the coordinates of just M prime, the image of point M, after the rotation? Well, my best advice to you is to get a piece of tracing paper, trace over your trapezoid, put your pencil on the origin, and rotate it clockwise. 1/4 turn clockwise. Okay, which means it's going to end up, my hint to you is it will end up in quadrant 3. So rotate it, label it, make sure everything comes over the way you want it to, and then find where does M end up. Number 10, solve the formula K equals 3M minus 7 for M. Now this is one we really haven't done very much, but think of this as if it were solving for Y, but instead we're just solving for M. So we want to just get everybody away from M. So what's attached to M? Get rid of adding and subtracting first. Get rid of multiplying and dividing second. So I'm adding 7 to my negative 7. to get rid of it being attached to the M. He goes away. I'm adding 7. Notice how I'm way out here because K's and 7's cannot be added together. So I'm going to put K plus 7 equals 3M. So I'm going to leave you to try and figure out, you got rid of adding and subtracting. What is the opposite of 3 being attached to M? And my clue to you is keep this all together. Keep this together. What you do to this, you'll just do to this. And then M gets all by itself. And then what happens to this K plus 7? See if you can figure that out. Number 11. What is the distance D across the canyon? It's been a while since we've done these. We have 100 feet on our long triangle, tall triangle on the long side. We have 30 feet on the long side of our small triangle. So I'm going to set up a proportion. I'm going to have 100 from my big triangle, and it relates to 30 from my small triangle. So I'm going to put a proportion D, my other line next to my right angle, and 12 on my small. This is on my big, this is on my small. What numbers will go where? Where will you put your 12? Upper or bottom? Where will you put your D? On the upper or the bottom? And then you will give me some shoelaces. But I'm not going to tell you how to set up this other side. You need to decide bigs to smalls and see which one you think how you should set it up and shoelace it. And that is the end of Standards Assessment for Chapter 4. If you need to, listen to it again. If you went too fast, hopefully you paused.